Huma Abedin has spent her career in public service in the background of high-profile people. She was hired as an intern in 1996 in the Clinton White House and continued to work with Hillary Clinton as long as her longtime advisor and confidant.
Well, Huma had to deal with betrayal in her personal life when a sexting scandal forced her husband, Congressman Anthony Weiner, to resign. Now Huma is stepping into the forefront. She's sharing her story in a new memoir. It's called Both and A Life in Many Worlds, out right now. Huma joins us right here on Good Day New York. I'm so happy I don't have to chase you down the street with either Hillary Clinton or Anthony Weiner. Gotcha.
I remember those days well, Rosanna. I still think I prefer those days. I like being being in the background and being invisible, but I'm so happy to be with both of you this morning.
Thank you. All right, so in the book, you're telling your story, and you've said that you wanted to tell your story because you wanted to control your story. But as you know, and as many people know, you have a son. I don't know how old he is right now, but I'm wondering, 9. Did you have to sit down before this book came out and kind of explain to him what was going to happen? Because, you know, kids love to Google.
Yes, well, thankfully, my son doesn't Google me yet. But, I did want to tell my story because I feel like most of my adult life, we're joking about running after each other. Somebody else has been telling my story, and I remained silent. I was the invisible person behind the primary person, whether that was Hillary or Anthony, or as I start in the early part of my book, my parents. I had larger-than-life immigrant parents, gave up everything, came to this country as Fulbright scholars. Education was a religion for them. They gave me this extraordinary life, which allowed me to serve my country. But while I remained silent and stayed focused on my job, somebody else was telling my story. And those people are telling my history. And so now I choose, and I appreciate you asking me about my son, because I want him, when he's old enough to read this book, to look back at the life that his mother lived and the legacy I was raised to honor from my parents, and be proud of what I did, because I am proud of what I have done in my lifetime professionally.
You've accomplished so much, and the book has a lot of details in here. Yes. I feel like I really got to know you in the book, and your beautiful family and what they've given up to, give you your start here. But Anthony Weiner, I mean, you talk about how he romanced you. You were pretty naive, 32 years old. He was your first lover.
That's right. And
boy, wined and dined you, did all the right things. But, at some point, I know after, the sexting scandal happened, you still couldn't close the door on this. You're still not divorced from Anthony Weiner. Is there still a possibility that you and Anthony could get back together?
See, Rosanna, now you know why I was running away from you for so long.
I'm reading the book and I'm saying, is Huma still in love with Anthony?
Well, I appreciate you're asking the question in the context of, back then, and making the point. Yes, he was my first love. He was the first man I was with. He was this dynamic, charismatic, really smart public servant. I mean, part of what really connected us is that we were both in government, and I did fall deeply, madly in love with him. And the first time the story broke, I was in such shock. It was such trauma and fury and anger. But I want to note, just going back to my father for a second, because if you've read the early part of the book, I was very close to my father. And I lost him. I mean, he was diagnosed with a basically terminal illness. He had renal failure when I was 2. And, lived, thankfully, until I was 17. But I did not have a choice when my father was taken away from me. And the first time this story broke, I was carrying Anthony's child. I was not even 12 weeks pregnant. And every decision I made really was for myself. And I wrote a lot of detail about the story because, let me tell you something, I don't think what I went through is all that uncommon. I think plenty of women and men in this country have dealt with betrayal in their relationships. I just had to do it on the front page of the news. And so every decision I made, every step of the way, was for my son, for myself. And then I got to the point where I realized it was really doing a lot of damage to my mental and emotional and physical health. And when I got to that point, I realized, you know what? I need help. I need to take care of myself. Anthony and I separated several years ago. We are in final stages of our divorce.
You're really going to do it?
We share a child.
Right.
He will always be somebody in my life. He is the father of my child, and I honor that. I think every day I get up and think, what are the things I have to be grateful for? And there are people who are shocked that I acknowledge Anthony in the book. And I do acknowledge him because he gave me Jordan. He gave me the greatest gift in my life. He gave me my son. So he will always be part of my life. We are not married. We will not be married. But he will always be a partner in raising our little boy.
What would you tell 32-year-old Huma getting into this relationship before you guys got married? You found a phone with some things in it. Can you explain what those things were and what you would tell yourself, that younger self, kind of stepping back, hey, before you get into a marriage, is there something you would say?
Well, you know, I think to go in with an open heart and open mind, which is what I did. And the context of, you know, what I saw in 2010, 2009, late 2009, just before Anthony and I got married, it was just, I know now it seems 100 years ago and I sound like a dinosaur, but back then, all these social media channels like Facebook and Twitter in particular were newly introduced to our world. And I did find this sort of burgeoning fan messages, and Anthony certainly received a lot, and many of them were from women, and it made me uncomfortable. I was very conscious about the fact that I was with somebody who was public, and I was uncomfortable with it. I didn't want to step out and have a partner who was public, but I accepted it. I accepted it as part of the job. Now, did I think those interactions would somehow then become mutual and that he would start engaging with people? Did I predict that then? No, I don't think I could have. I don't think it was possible. And so, you know, I, Bianca, know what it is like to be loved, and that feeling, for anyone who's had that feeling, I mean, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure a lot of people can understand what you're saying. You had to deal with so much public criticism, and it's hard for one person to carry. Even hearing from Oscar de la Renta, who designed your wedding dress, saying at one point that he'll help you hide the body of your husband at that time. You know, what do you think was the final straw? Whether it be public criticism or private criticism, that made you take the first step in saying, I'm gonna walk away from this. I'm gonna separate myself from Anthony Weiner?
well, you know, I write in the book that, and there's 2 chapters. I have a chapter called Shame, Shame, Go Away, An Elephant in the Room. And we felt right after the first public explosion, yes, I had such a loving family and such a supportive community. I mean, I talk about Hillary Land and this incredibly supportive professional environment I was in. But when you are in this situation, and maybe this is not just me, there is so much shame. There's so much. I did feel like the elephant in the room. I talk about the stories of us being disinvited from places, going to a volunteer at a food bank in New York and being told at a food bank, you're not welcome to come back. And so we had a bunker mentality. And I was too ashamed to ask for anybody for help. And so we were seeing therapists, you know, regularly. I also write that I really struggled in therapy. I didn't really get it. You know, how do you fix something when you don't see what's broken? I thought I had a perfect marriage. The chapter opens with, I wake up in Buckingham Palace. My life is amazing. I write a letter to my husband saying we have to be grateful to God that we have been gifted this life, and then everything falls apart 5 days later. So, you know, the Oscar story, no one's asked me about the Oscar story, and I love that story because I did have friends who loved me, and he picked up the phone and called me up, you know, after Anthony's mayor's race failed and said, why didn't you tell me? I would have helped you. I love you so much. If you'd called me and said you'd murdered your husband, I would have helped you, you know, hide the body. But I just didn't, I was cowering in shame for so long, and it's one of the reasons why I had to overcome the trauma, the shock, and I'm sitting here today. I am doing the thing right now that scares me most.
Absolutely.
Which is being out there in the world.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable. Thank you.
I'm wondering, one of the other revelations in the book is that this senator was inappropriate with you. Did that senator reach out to you after this book has been published and said, thank you so much for not mentioning my name?
No, and this, you know, the reason I chose to share that story in the book, because if you've read the book, you see my full truth is in this book. I did consider it. I knew this was potentially going to be a story, but the story is not about him. I told the story for 2 reasons.
But do you think that he might have done this to other women besides you?
If you read the story and put it in context, 2 things. One, I think women, at least for me, we bury our trauma. So for me, I didn't even remember that story. It was only when I was watching the Christine Blasey Ford interview, her being grilled. during the Brett Kavanaugh hearings and being told that she had convenient memory. How all of a sudden do you remember these things that you allege happened to you? As I'm watching her defend herself, that incident came back. I had forgotten. And to me, what I think is so powerful about that story personally, and I know it's my story, is that when I looked back, what did I do as a 20-something? I apologized. I mean, that was the culture, that was the world, and I don't think that was specific to politics, is that in the 2000s, as a 20-something world, you're in an uncomfortable situation with somebody, you say, I'm sorry, and you walk out. And the second reason I'm being careful, Rosanna, is that I know there are women and men and people in this country who've had horrible trauma, terrible, terrible things have happened to them that they still haven't recovered from. That was not my experience. I was able to, rebalance the relationship. We were able to move on professionally. He treated me with respect. And so I honor that. And this is my truth. And in 2021, I should be able to share my truth how I choose to.
Well, it's a fascinating book. 500 pages worth, Huma. Anyway, I enjoyed reading it, and I'm just wondering, you keep saying you're going to run for office. After election, we've had Mayor de Blasio as our mayor for 2 terms here in New York. A lot of people think Anthony Weiner screwed up the primary for everybody, and that's how we got de Blasio, because Anthony was a front runner during the primary. And then all of a sudden, when he took himself out of the race, de Blasio went up. So you're the one responsible.
In the end, it's always the woman's fault.
For the last 2 terms, Huma Abedin.
He's out of there soon.
Well, we had a good result last night, in my opinion. So I'm very, very excited about Mayor-elect Adams, and I think our city needs him.
But politics in your future, though?
No politics in my future.
How about love?
Definitely love.
Oh,
yes.
We all need that.
The book is out now, Both and A Life in Many Worlds. Huma Abedin, nice to have you on Good Day.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you
so much.